Hi, is that Sam?
Hi, sorry, it's Sam again. Apologies.
Okay, no problem. Thanks for you got some time now?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Thanks for getting some time in me.
I'm so sorry, I've had to cancel a couple of times. I'm travelling quite a lot.
No, that's fine. I've been reading a little bit about you, so I made the assumption that you're quite busy at the moment. So yeah, I guess maybe just let's get started. I'm just going to kind of wanting to know about your company, and then maybe kind of give some advice to people out there who are kind of maybe in a similar position to yourself, who have a kind of ideas as well for Sage.
Sure, yeah, no problem.
Okay, so just tell me about the start of the company. Where did you, a bit about the background and why you got started.
So I was in the fresh produce industry for 10 years, selling fruits and vegetables to supermarkets on their own label, and I had a background in art and design from college, and I really wanted to do something with the brand. Started looking at fresh, had a couple of failures with brands in fresh because it's so commoditized and price driven. So did some investigation and research into frozen foods and realised that it was an industry that hadn't had any innovation for almost 20 years, with the exception of design and packaging. So looked even deeper and figured out how I could leverage my fresh produce background, because same farmers are developing the same products for both industries. The only difference was the channel frozen, and the advantage was less perishability, 2-year shelf life versus a week. So it was natural after that.
Okay, and I mean, what is it is kind of your USP then, or what is special, or what makes you unique in the marketplace that made you think, oh yeah, like we can definitely make a good impact?
Big thing is trust. You'll see recently in the UK and Irish markets and across Europe, you've got low quality products. You've had things like the horse meat scandal happen. Our company is all about honesty and ingredients. We are agriculture background and we are food people. We're not accountants, but we're also marketers who are very focused on trends and what the consumer wants, as opposed to what factories can make. So it's a company and products that have an insight and starts with the customer, as opposed to start with the business and work backwards. So as a result, our ingredients are of higher quality, our suitability of product is better for modern, fast, convenient lifestyles, and we're making products that people want to eat. Natural products where you can see all of the ingredients inside, as opposed to quite scientific based items with various different types of protein, as well as the fact that they're all vegan, which is a huge trend in plant-based food at the moment.
Okay, and I guess what are the kind of unique ways and challenges that you've had in terms of innovation in the supply chain to kind of create the product that you produce?
So one of the key things has been that we don't consider ourselves just a food company. We're a food marketing company. So we don't make any of the products ourselves. We co-create them with bigger manufacturers. So we have less issues scaling when we need to. So for example, we design the products, we design a brand, we communicate to the consumers, we talk to the supermarkets, but we go to the professionals to make the product. So for example, one of our marquee products is our sweet potato fries, and that's based on a relationship with a key farming area in North Carolina and a grower with a factory, as opposed to a mass-produced facility in Central Europe somewhere. And then similarly with other ingredients or burger products, etc. We went to sustainable areas where they're sourced for the best quality, as opposed to trying to do something just for the sake of mass production.
Sure. And in terms of, I guess, creating and a design, or how, who are you responsible for kind of specifying what ingredients should be in the product? And
Yes.
so do you have people working on kind of I don't know, like testing or ingredients or stuff like that?
Sorry, I'm just going into a lift, so you might lose me briefly.
No problem.
But the answer is yes. For a very, very small company, we have a team of 3 working on products specifically. There's our head of product, who's a product designer from the 30 years of experience in food. We have a technical manager from a manufacturing background that looks after all of the relationships at our supplier level. And then we have a director of brand and innovation who deals explicitly with speaking to and finding out customer insights, what they actually want to use. So from a total team of 30, three of the team are only working on product and innovation, etc.
Sure. And in terms of technology, how important is that to you, and how do you make use of it? I guess when you're talking about the way you work and the supply chain that you work with manufacturers.
So we've been pretty forward about using technology. We've actually developed an ERP system, which we put in year 2 of the business, which is pretty unusual, which has the capability of growing up to a revenue of $1 billion, which is all inclusive from the perspective of accounts management, customer management, demand planning and forecasting, material resource planning, etc. So we've got that type of system in our business already, and we have various different portals at which warehouse, customer, supplier, and partners can use that system to provide us with information and improve what we're doing. So we've been pretty forward about the upfront investment in technology across all departments of our business, including sales and marketing and technical and quality management as well.
Sure. Do you I guess in terms of partnerships, you don't have your own factory. You just work with other bigger manufacturers for them to kind of produce what you specify. Is that how it works?
Yeah, we design the products, and we go out there and find the best suppliers and producers for the product that we're looking for. So, for example, we have suppliers in North America, South America, Central Europe, and each of those 5 different factories have a different specialization. So I think the best example is our supplier and factory in Peru. We wanted to make a avocado half that was ripe and ready to eat after freezing. And one of the big problems with avocados is that certain varieties have a much lower fat content, good fat content than others. Peru is the place where I suppose the highest unsaturated fat in avocado varieties can be found. So we worked with a specialist there, which was probably the most complicated place to go to, but for the best quality product.
Sure.
Similarly with sweet potato fries, most of the sweet potato that's brought into Europe is gone to North Carolina. We went and found experts in agriculture. Our business starts with the agriculture and not with the factory, so we don't work with anyone who isn't starting as the primary producer, because we need to know everything about what's going into the products. A lot of other companies that do what's called co-packing or co-creation using, manufacturer as a wholesaler, and we don't do that. We pick people so that we can have full inclusion in the process.
How does the technology that you have in place make that easier for you to do?
So, like for example, we would have EDI interfaces across our technology that would allow input of data like work in progress, stock holding, availability on raw ingredients, forecast and sales, and the integration of them into our system allows us to have real-time data. And without real-time data in the food business, you can run your business in a much cleaner, better way without having huge stock holding or not enough and shelf outages. So it's absolutely vital.
And how important is traceability and compliance when it comes to it? It would sound like it would be really important for what you're trying to do.
Of course. Well, you as a consumer, my job is to convince you that you're going to consume some of our food. And in order to make sure that you're comfortable to actually consume something that I'm selling to you, we have to be 100% compliant, and in most cases 125% compliant. We want to go over and above to make sure that what you're putting into your body is first safe and fit for purpose, but after that tastes great, is convenient, is affordable, and it's good for you. So compliance is a legal requirement as opposed to something that we can skirt around.
Sure. And how is I guess I want to touch on sort of the challenges how is your relationship with I guess retailers, and how much of a challenge was it to get your product out there for them to kind of get for them to pay attention?
We went through a supplier accelerator program in Ireland called Food Academy. It's like for early stage food businesses looking to progress across retail. And our strategy was to be prepared to do a lot very soon, and that's what the model is based on. So that's why we don't manufacture things, and that's why we go to the professionals to do it. So we started in 10 stores, and we had success in those, and then we were given 100 stores, and we very quickly had success in those. And then we were given, a nationwide distribution in Ireland with SuperValu for 221 stores. Soon after, the next retail group came, and soon after that, we started a relationship with Tesco in Ireland, and then progressed into the UK. Waitrose and Whole Foods were our first customers in the UK, and then into Morrison's, Tesco, Ocado, Amazon Fresh, and soon to be some of the other major grocers as well. So we've had a super quick growth into the retailers based on the trend of plant-based eating, as well as healthy lifestyle, as well as the quality of the ingredients and the brand. And all of those things together have kind of made up for kind of quick growth and success so far.
Sure. And what would you say were the biggest challenges in setting up the business for you?
Finance. Making sure that we had the cash to do the business that we wanted to do. I don't think any startup company doesn't have a cash issue at some point. We were over trading, so we had to go out to the market and figure out which kind of financial products were going to work for us to keep doing what we were doing without slowing down. And luckily, between banking partners both in Ireland and the UK, we've been able to do that, and are actually still self-funding. So we've got a pretty unique story in terms of finance. The other one is, finding the right people. It's pretty difficult to, while you're trying to grow a business and maintain sales and keep product innovation going, to go out there and have the time to look for the best people, better than yourself. So I'd say finance and people has been the most difficult, but because we've invested time and energy, it's also been one of our biggest successes. So, yeah.
Sure. And if you had any advice for somebody in your industry who had an idea like yours, trying to set up, what would if you had a conversation with them now, what pearls of wisdom would you try to give them?
Twice, do once. I think a lot of the startup industry is based around the idea of failing fast. I think that's true, but I also think that if you're considering all of the external environment factors that will allow you to plan properly, you're going to have less failures, and some things you won't be able to answer, and they're the things you have to take a punt on and take those punts. But I think it's an equal amount of risk versus planning is what makes success. So that'd be my advice.
Sure. And I guess, did you yourself have to do a lot of? I mean, you had your own background, and also you had experience in what you were trying to sell. But I mean, did how much kind of research and kind of work, what sort of research work did you do before setting up the company?
I mean, technically, I did 10 years research before starting the business.
Yeah.
But really, I went out on my own and spent 6 months really honing the concept and brand and doing research and market investigation on what was going to work. So the long term was, my whole career up to that point.
Yeah.
I probably started thinking about doing it about 2 years in advance, and then actually spent 6 months before going to market, just planning and researching and figuring out what was going to work.
And now you're in the position, I guess you're selling to some major retailers. So what's your near and long term plans, I guess?
I mean, our plan from the start was to be a global brand.
Yeah.
So we have a bit of a way to go to achieve that. But we're getting there. We're distributing across the world, in Middle East, Asia, Northern Europe, Central Europe, Ireland and the UK, and we've got visions on the USA as our next growth market. So the long-term plan is very much underway. In the short term, within the next 3 years, we want to be a staple food brand in 20 million homes, and that's our internal target, which is quite ambitious, but we're comfortable we can get there.
Great. And you say that you're selling across overseas markets. Are there any kind of what are the unique challenges kind of selling internationally in terms of, I guess, regulations, compliance, and the change in the winds when it comes to the economy that happens quite often?
Sorry, I just missed the start of that question.
So what's I guess are your supply chain challenges when you're selling overseas, and maybe in terms of sort of regulations and compliance, what challenges do you have?
Key ones at the moment would be, sorry, if you could just hold the line for 1 second.
No problem.
Sorry about that. I was just trying to direct a taxi.
No problem. This is the last question anyway, so yeah.
Sorry, there's 2 at the moment. The main one would be navigating requirements around plastic, in particular in packaging. And our objective is to remove non-recyclable packaging completely from the supply chain within the next 9 months.
Sorry, what was that? So could you just repeat that? Yeah.
Sorry, we want to try and reduce non-recyclable packaging in the supply chain in the next 9 months.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. And then the other the other environmental factor which we're trying to change is, or which we come up across, because we're working in so many territories, duties and taxes. So, you know, Brexit is a huge concern because of the potential relationship with Europe and even Ireland and the UK. Never mind the US. You know, global trade deals are falling out of bed all over at the moment, which would be much more restrictive for the food industry than anything else. So they're huge kind of concerns and environmental factors that are going to affect us in the next couple of years, and ones that are difficult to plan for without security. So, you know, we can hedge currency and we can set up local offices like we've done in the UK and Ireland, but there's only so much planning that we can do.
Okay, great. Thanks for those answers. They were brilliant. Do you have anything else that you wanted to share for this article before I get off the phone?
No, I mean, if you need to do any follow-ups, just give me a call. I'm jumping on another conference call at the moment, but then I'll be free from 3 o'clock onwards, or even tomorrow if you need to do any follow-ups.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I think I've got all the answers I need. I'll probably talk to Nikki about maybe getting a photo of you for the article or something like that.
Yeah, she can pull one from the marketing team. We've got some press packs, and she can organise one.
Great. Well, good luck. Really interesting speaking to you, and I think I'll have a look and see your product and try it for myself.
Yeah, well, we can organise to get some over to you. If you give Nikki your details, I'll arrange to get some samples over, so you and the team can try some. But look, thanks for the interest, and sorry for messing around, and thanks for being agile and changing the times and dates and stuff.
No problem. No, it was worthwhile speaking to you, so yeah, thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.